If you haven't been following the LA mayoral race, you should be, because it's the latest indication that the Democrats are up to no good. Reality TV star Spencer Pratt, he's the Republican candidate, and Republicans put up a hell of a vote count. But this is where the interesting part comes. There's an extreme progressive candidate and also an incumbent in Karen Bass. Yeah, that Karen Bass, the one that did nothing to prevent the LA wildfires that decimated Pacific Palisades. Well, right now, Karen Bass, Spencer Pratt, and the extreme progressive candidate are all fighting, but they're fighting for votes now as the polls have been closed for almost over 48 hours. So this is an LA mayoral race where the vote count is now going to take weeks. Well, what do we know? That also takes weeks from the Democrats. We have a history of this. This is where the mail in ballots come in, and this is where the stop the steal efforts come in. Well, the good news is that Donald Trump and his administration are watching this race, and the federal investigators are also watching this race. So let's get to the latest as to what's going on in this important race out on the West Coast.
We'll go to the runoff. We believe very comfortably, based on the Associated Press reporting from the votes overnight, that she now currently leads in that mayor's race. So really, the second place finisher will advance, and that's either Pratt or that's Ramen. But Pratt right now is sitting in a very good and comfortable position. So how do they vote in Los Angeles? Massive, sprawling town. Here are the neighborhoods: Pacific Palisades, hit by the fires; Westwood, that's where UCLA is; Hollywood; and of course, downtown LA. To show you a bit of a comparison, we went back to the results in Los Angeles from 4 years ago. This is not the primary now. This is the mayor's race and how it ended up. Karen Bass was the winner over Rick Caruso. Caruso was a Republican, then an independent. He ran as a Democrat, but this is where Caruso did best. Pacific Palisades, okay, in the neighborhoods to the north. Karen Bass did best in downtown LA, Hollywood, and East LA. And we'll see eventually, once we get to November, if indeed those voting patterns follow.
So again, this is early the first morning after the race closed, and you can see that clearly Spencer Pratt has a solid second place finish, which will send this to an official runoff. Now, pay attention though. This Nithya Ramen, she's the third place candidate and is the extreme progressive in the race. Well, she now is making a huge run as the mail in ballots, now days after the election and polls have closed. She's making a run, and I want to show you just how bad this is. So again, here you can see the outline of the results, and this is now going into a 36-hour time frame since the polls closed. Karen Bass again keeps her comfortable lead. Spencer Pratt had about 86,000 votes at this point going into the evening hours. And then, watch this. Spencer Pratt stays the same, but virtually every single candidate, meaning the incumbent Democrat, Karen Bass, and the progressive candidate, were all getting votes throughout the evening. Spencer Pratt didn't budge. So LA is up to some funny business here as the mail-in ballots are now getting counted late into the evenings of these days since the polls have closed. So why is this important for the Democrats? Well, they want to be able to ultimately solidify Karen Bass's position and get Spencer Pratt out of the purview of any ballot going into the November election. Obviously, they're trying to use the third candidate, the extreme progressive, to get Spencer Pratt low enough so that he's out of this mess. But there's one problem that the Democrats weren't anticipating. As Donald Trump posts here on his Truth Social platform, there's big cheating on by the Democrats in California. Votes are all tied up, and it may be 3 to 4 weeks for the final vote to come in. Well, this is all going to be under the investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Los Angeles on why there is such a delay in the counting. They are trying to steal the governor of California primary. That's a race that we haven't even talked about this morning. And the mayor race of Los Angeles, primary and away from two great Republican candidates. So here we go with the very late and the massive number of mail-in ballots. So here, in what we would assume is a traditional Democrat stronghold, we have the governor's race getting delayed 3 to 4 weeks. This is the primary vote that just took place, but they're establishing the ballots going into November as incumbent governor Gavin Newsom is termed out. And now we have incumbent mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass. She's getting a run for her money from Spencer Pratt. And now the delay. So why do we have massive states like Florida, like others, that are able to literally by midnight, the night that the polls close at 8 p.m., just 4 hours later, call the race, be done with it, and then just obviously be counting some military ballots or some other stragglers in the day or two after? Why does it take a mayoral race 3 to 4 weeks? Well, we're going to have some answers to that question because Donald Trump has now assigned a U.S. attorney to watch the count. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think that the Democrats are up to no good in both the LA mayoral race and the gubernatorial race? It seems like this is just their same old tricks and the same old pattern of deceit and delay and mail-in ballots. They also, incidentally, had 2 different instances going into election eve where ballot boxes were magically catching on fire in some of the traditional strongholds where you would expect a strong Spencer Pratt vote. So again, there was some issues even before election night, and now post-election night, it looks like there's nothing good that's happening on the West Coast. If you've yet to subscribe to the Chris Locke Show, please do so. We'd love to have you along for the ride and share this video. We need to be able to get news like this out. This is the truth. This is where we're at. And we're in a fight for our country to make sure that important bills like the Save America Act, which would incidentally prevent a lot of the shenanigans out on the West Coast, but the Save America Act and fair and true elections for both, in this instance, the mayoral race in LA and the gubernatorial race in California, that they're fair, that ballots are counted accurately, and that the federal investigation authorities are watching this every step of the way. Share this video, get the truth out, and we'll see you in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe to The Chris Locke Show for the latest America First news, conservative commentary, and the stories that mainstream media refuses to cover. These 2 videos right up here, they're going to be next. Pick your favorite. I'll see you over there.